Hello, this is my translation of Virgil's Aeneid, Book 2, lines 400 and through 420 through 437, as well as a little bit of discussion about some of the analysis of it kind of as it goes. So here goes. I'm going to do this ili etiam a little later on with the apparent. I think it works a little better translated later. So if any of those, because C before quos is C aliquos. So any whom we scattered through the shadows in the dark of night by trickery. And we drove through the whole city and drove them along that route. Even those appear. And thinking if it here is like reappear, so all of those people that the Trojans who have dressed up as the Greeks by putting on their armors have driven away, even those are starting to come back. All right. The first ones recognize the shields and the lying weapons, and our mouths signal a difference, like that we are different. Sono, because of the sound. Immediately, we are overwhelmed by the number. And first, Charybdis dies by the right hand of Peneleus at the altar of the arm-bearing goddess, right? Of the war powerful goddess, right? And Rhipeus falls, the most just one who was among the two Greans, and the most observant of justice. It seemed otherwise to the gods, meaning the gods had other plans for him, i.e. that he die now. Hippanes and Deimos perish, pierced by their allies, right? Friendly fire because they look like Greeks, and the Trojans are firing on the Greeks that are approaching the palace area. Nec te tua plurima, nor did your great amount pietas of piety, nor the infula, the fillet, the headband, sacred headband that priests would have worn of Apollo, texit, protect you, O Panthus. Labentem, as you fall. All of this stuff's in the present tense here to kind of make that historical present a little more, like bring you into the moment, which is a good stylistic choice. Here, Aeneas is swearing to, he's calling on the ashes of his city and the final flame of his people, the funeral pyre, if you will, of his people, to swear by them. So this is kind of an example of apostrophe because he's addressing someone that's not there. Because remember, this whole thing is Aeneas talking to Dido and her people about the fall of Troy. So, O ashes of Ilium and final flame of my people, I swear that in your downfall, I avoided neither weapons nor any exchanges of Greeks, meaning I didn't try to avoid fights. And si fatafus, if the fates had been ut caderum, that I should die, meruisse manu, that I merited it, that I earned it by hand, meaning that I fought. I did act. I did everything that I could. And if I would have died, it wasn't because I was a coward. It wasn't because I just stood aside and let things down. It's because I was fighting back, right? That's what he's saying. Divelimur inde. From there, we split up. Iphitus and Peleus with me, of whom Iphitus, now heavier with age, meaning he's slower, and Peleus, slow because of the wound of Ulysses, meaning because of the wound caused by Ulysses. Immediately, Wakati we are called, add sedes to the home Priami of Priam by the clamor, by the loud noise. All right, so that is my translation of this section. Now let's go back through it and look for some rhetorical techniques and such. All right, so you kind of have Ili and Apparent are broken up by these. This rather long C through Urbe section. Moving on. Klipeos mentita quaetella. The weapons aren't actually lying, right? The people are lying by holding other people's weapons. That makes that a transferred epithet. Continue. There's also an enjambment here between Tella and Agnoskunt. Again, you have all the historical present stuff starting after the primusque. Well, actually, technically starting with Abdurri more is all present tense. So it's like muskunt and such. All right. Alliteration, dextra divi, also alliteration, omnipotentes ad aram. Enjambment, line 425 to 426, ad aram procumbit. Hyperbole, justicissimus unus qui fuit in tucris et servantissimus aequi. That feels like hyperbole to me, at least. Enjambment dimasque confixia sociis. I already talked about the apostrophe in line 431. So iliaki kineres, that apostrophe to address someone not there. That is the flames of the final funeral pyre of his people, as well as the ashes of Ilium. Again, kind of enjambment through C fata fussent ut caderum. Another enjambment at Iowa Yam Gravior. Then you probably argue that week is another alliteration. Likewise, sifata fussent. So all of this alliteration kind of helping to build the defense that Aeneas is doing of himself there, where he's trying to defend his own actions. Likewise, meruisse manu. Again, I personally would prefer to see three uses of the same sound relatively close to one another to count it, but yeah, oh well. Just looking through to see if I see any chiasmus or synchesis. All right, so at line 431, iliaki is an adjective describing kineres. Extrema is an adjective describing flamma. So grammatically speaking, you have adjective, noun, noun, adjective. So kind of chiasmus there. Okay, and that is where this particular video is going to end. So, voila. Once the stop button will show up.